All right. We are all locked and loaded, ready to go on this Friday evening. We are about 47 minutes away from the start of the slate. So I'll be here for probably give or take, 20-ish minutes answering any questions you guys may have or may want to talk about. Let me make sure we're live here. Thank you everybody for joining me on this Friday. Mute that so it's not echoing through. Yeah, so pretty interesting slate. I think this is going to be a pretty fun one to build for. Let me go ahead and bring up all my stuff here up on the screen. We got that. Do you guys want? I mean, we'll be looking at truck preview anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let me get this up here. Now, yet again, these are our pricings. Now we do have the $16 trial for everything. So if you've never tried SaberSim or you want to try the contest sims out, I mean, baseball is here clearly. If you want to use SaberSim's baseball contest sims and stuff like that, you can get a 16-day trial. So you can try the SaberSim and Unlimited for $16 for 3 days. Yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and point that out. I am happy to say that we don't really have a lot of people on the NASCAR package because at this point, people who were on it went ahead and just upgraded to either the core or they're just using the full SaberSim package. So I am very happy to see that. Obviously, we have our paid dirt partnership and SaberSim. So obviously, like quite a lot of things on the site. Normally, I'll sell a lot more, but we are in a very very tight window for the race today. When we're looking at this race, okay, actually even going back to here, when we look at, and yet again, we're going to be jumping through this. If you want to see, if you want to be able to look through all of this data as well, you can find this in Discord. This is Astukas's preview for this weekend's race at Martinsville. I went over it in the Martinsville video on Monday. But really, what's interesting here is when you look at where, I mean, even if we just look at top 10 percentages or top 10 percentage of laps like ran inside the top 10, okay, which is a really good metric to see where people are running and stuff like that. When we look at where these guys are at, and then you then also view the starting grid that we're looking at too, nothing is really out of the ordinary. They're like, we expect Caden, we expect Ty Majeski, we expect Lane Riggs to qualify up front. Okay, and then we obviously see the guys who either had a bad qualifying lap or just are starting farther back than where they should finish. Now, whether that be a situation where like Luke, uh, you know, messed up his exit of turn one and killed both of his laps, or even like Ben Rhodes and Enfinger qualifying worse than where they should be. But when we're looking at here, I mean, this data point just alone should show you the people that we like. Why Enfinger, why Rhodes, why Ankrum are popular. They are some of the, or at least when I say some of, they are rated high on the amount of laps spent in the top 10 on similar contests for this. And even when you look at the amount of laps spent in the top five, you see obviously Lane Riggs starting up front, Time and Majeski starting up front. Then you have Enfinger, Ben Rhodes showing up here. Ankrum is still like, there's a reason why, Enfinger, Rhodes, and Ankrum are going to be popular today. Like, you don't need me to tell you to play them. Like, obviously that's why they're popular. That's why like they're showing us such a good play. The real thing comes down to what Byron and Corey Heim do together. Now I'm leaning very much towards this is a Corey Heim race. I will be very forward that I am locking in Corey Heim and building from there. I just when we look at the the tracks, I was gonna say when we're looking at where Corey Hive is at, I mean he's just so much faster than the field. I mean it is redonkulous how much faster he is than the field. And this is not a situation where he ran a few laps and then carried that as a much faster average in practice. I mean he ran 48 laps and is the fastest guy in the practice session. I mean, this is a situation where we knew we'd be interested in Corey Heim based on his performances at short tracks. We knew we would be already playing him, on Martinsville. We expected him to be fast in practice. We expected him to qualify well. And, we've checked all the boxes through there. I think Corey Heim wins this race. I think he has the best car or best truck in the race. So if that doesn't happen, I can tell you right now I'm losing. That's the beginning portion of where we're building. So past that, then we like figuring out where else are we going here. Now, luckily, I don't believe now yet again, if you want to see Sheets' ownership's projections, which I tend to use a lot when making decisions on who to use, who to try and get different on, where to find pivots on stuff. Yet again, you can find that with the basic NASCAR subscription or any of these subscriptions here. All you got to do is just go here, hit projections. You can find both mine and Sheets' projections. But luckily, we're expecting Corey Heim and even William Byron to not really eclipse over like 55% ownership. I mean, I think it's going to be lower than that, but or when I say I think, like, I don't see a reason why one of them would be over 55. I think realistically, the ownership comes in under 49 on both of these. But the fact that, you know, realistically, if Corey Heim fails, then it should be William Byron who can get up there, and then he's probably competing with Ty Majeski. So those would be the two guys you would use. If Corey Heim just does what he's doing, like, that is a huge, you know, amount of the field that you're just eliminating. Like, when we're looking at how people are performing here, and yet again we are kind of tied on we're at 41 minutes until lock. When we're looking at how these guys are running at these races, and yet again this is based on similar contests and stuff, because all this is based on DraftKings contest and how to build and so on and so forth. So we're looking at the short tracks that have 200 laps, and when we look at where people are at, whether you're just looking at what they're running at, or when you're looking specifically at what they're running at Martinsville and stuff, 133 twice. We look at Corey Heim leading 82 laps in the rain shortened event in 2023. Like, there's a real chance, especially when you look at where the main leaders are coming from. I mean, you're getting your main leader from really the top 4 positions, and more specifically the top 2 when they qualify and show that they have the most amount of speed. This is not a situation where somebody came in and swooped the pole away from like an expected guy to get the pole. Like, this is Corey Heim here. I would fully expect to see him lead anywhere above like 75 laps in this race. Now, the thing to note is when we look at the amount of fast laps that you get in these races, whether it be due to yellows or whatever the case may be, we do have a substantial lower percentage of fast laps in this race given to the guy who is leading the races, but that can be the running in traffic. Could be, we're burning yellows or we're burning laps that are yellow. I mean, when we think about that, you typically a standard, yellow window is 5 laps. It's typically expanded a bit at Martinsville because yellow then comes out. You have to then catch the pace car. Everybody has to catch the pace car. Then pit road is open for the lead lap cars. Then they're open for the lap down cars. Then you have the wave around. Then you have the, not only, I meant wave around, like you have the lucky dog. And then you have the wave around cars who elected to not pit with the leaders. And so right then and there, like we're looking at, cautions and let me go ahead and make sure I'm not speaking out of turn here, but I would not be shocked to see. I'm going to go to Racing Reference for this really fast. I would not be shocked to see that these caution windows, which we can, yet again, I'm using this more so just to have on hand. So we just got to find Martinsville for the Truck Series. I would expect, these caution windows to probably be like 7-8 laps, which we can check really fast here. So we'll look back at the last just 4. We don't need to really go deeper than that because we're just looking at what the yellow windows are. So we have whatever 37 to 62 is, 8 here, 99 to 110. Jesus Louises, nearly 10 here. Like, these are long caution. This is a quick one because we're getting to the end of the race. And NASCAR's like, whoa, gang, we need to keep it to 5 laps. Okay, so that's not insane. 5 here, 8 here, whatever that is, another 10 here, 5 here. 5 is going to be on the low end of the caution periods, and I'd say probably 8 or 9 is on the higher. This is okay. We're raining here. That doesn't count. It's batteries to look at. 8, 5, 8, 4. That's probably the end of a stage or something. 5 here. So why is this important? Well, not only does your lap leader, run into a situation of and maybe this is redundant because we're playing fucking Corey Hum anyway. I don't know why I'm wasting so much time with this. So I just really you get the point I'm trying to make here. When we're looking at the scoring ranges here, top 6 looking right at like 45, 44, give or take on these. And so when we're looking at this grid and looking at people who are, in a position to potentially, hit that high 30, low 40, upside and stuff, the field is pretty small. Let's start in the back of the field really fast. There's no real reason. Also, like, I didn't even catch this. I made more of a joke because I have 2 friends. They have the name. Oh, well, hold on. Let me find it. I don't want to, completely screw them or dox them like that. But they have a name very similar to this guy, and so I was like, and one of their names is Ryan, and they're like, this is a funny last name. I didn't even realize this guy's from Knob Noster. Like, what the fuck kind of name is that, dude? We when we're looking at Ryan, Benning, Cody, Frankie, Nathan, and we could do this, and Justin. I mean, we can go all the way to Allen too. We're not using these guys, okay? When we look at their lap speed in practice here, okay, all these guys are the slowest for a reason, right? We can see why they're the slowest. Bad equipment. I mean, whatever reason it is that they are bad, okay? The reason would be irrelevant. We're just looking at the lap times that these idiots are running. They're very slow, okay? Very unlikely that they can realistically hit that 35 threshold that we would need for one of these idiots down here, right? Okay, outside of Wreckfest and stuff. Then you get to Patrick, who is not a complete imbecile, okay? This man's a doctor. This man is forking his own money around to not only run this race, but run tomorrow for Sam Hunt. I mean, and like, oh my God, someone who's actually competent, who has experience in NASCAR, who has ran other races before, who like, like, oh my gosh, somebody who's starting last that actually just has raw speed in comparison to the rest of the field. And so when we're building, okay, I'm telling you right now, I don't have a ton of him, but I like Patrick as if you need a value play, if you want to fit everybody in your lineup or whatever. But for the most part, in the back of the field, we're not going to anybody in not. Let's get you squared away, Patrick. So the back of the field is pretty dead, right? When we look at the, we kind of talked about this the other day here. We're not really seeing gigantic place differential in these situations and stuff like that. Some of the situations here, but we're not really seeing, a bunch of huge place differential come from, the back of the field unless it was like some great guy, which we don't have that tonight. So looking at the huge place differential stuff is not exactly what I would end up looking at. I would more so pay attention to where are we at here? It's I think it's this one here. When we're looking at the amount of raw points brought from the finishing positions that these guys have here, that then indicates and leans towards, either one of 2 avenues that we go with. Yet again, you have do you play Corey Heim, Ty Majeski, William Byron, like whatever. The second fork in the road is, are we playing guys in the top 10 for the opportunity that they maintain a position up there at a price tag that you can fit either one and or a lot of them in a lineup that would raw and outscore from a point per dollar perspective the place differential coming from the middle of the pack. Okay, those are the 2 situations here. And so on the playing guys up front, okay, the people that would pretty much the most important guy would be Lawless Allen in a Tricon machine in the number 1 starting 9th at $6,300. Okay, if we're taking that avenue, then you probably want to play Lawless Allen. And in fact, if you're taking the raw position points from them maintaining a position or finishing the top 10 and stuff, Lawless Allen is probably the best play in the slate if you're going down that avenue. At 6,300, you then, sidestep all of the 6K ranges in the back of the field and either A, hope they get lapped and can't pass through people. You hope that they, just run issues and stuff. And then, Lawless works, in the top 10 at 6,300 because he outscores Sutton, Mills, and Luke. Okay. You would then also, be interested in, potentially using people like, and yet again, as I did say on the Monday video and stuff, and I appreciate the 100 of you people here watching this. All of this stuff will be going behind the paywall in April, after years of having, doing free shows and stuff like that. In April, when we do have the new site redesign and everything, everything will be behind the paywall. The live streams, all this stuff on your screen. So if you find any of this useful, you have to pay for it. That's just how it is. This is why I like all this data that we have here, outside of just projections and stuff. But if you're going down that avenue of playing guys who have the potential of finishing up front, you probably also have a lot of interest in people like Lane Riggs and Ty Majeski. Same thing with Caden Honeycutt. Now, obviously, you're not doing all these together, but that's that avenue. Okay. Second avenue, which yet again, okay, the reason why I'm talking about this is if you want to diversify your lineups, or if you're having, say you play fucking 20 lines and you want to do, okay, I'll jerk around with 4 lineups playing guys up front. In that group of 4, like Lawless Allen, Caden Honeycutt, like those are the people that you want to use in that situation. That doesn't mean, hey, have 35% Lawless Allen across the board, but like understanding your outs and the different ways a race could go, like that's the direction you'd want to play if you're playing those guys. The second way that I like more, I think it has a way higher, clearly a higher ceiling, but I think a real chance of working out, especially if you're playing Luke and or Patrick, is playing the guys in green and prioritizing them nearly over anybody else. Obviously, big asterisks or whatever, chasing Corey Heim or Byron or whatever, right? We're in like the secondary, fork at the road. I like the guys in green a lot. I like the upside that Perez offers in the Spire truck. I like that Luke is starting 27th. Matt Mills has been going on a pretty killer banger here really fast. Now, yet again, we put a lot of time and effort into stuff really fast. Now, yet again, we haven't seen a short track this year. I understand that, okay? But yet again, hey, man, maybe you want to see how somebody has been doing as of late recently, and you want to see, some performances that are pretty decent, and you want a very quick idea of where somebody is in terms of speed compared to last year or whatever. I mean, Matt Mills has shown more consistent speed to run in the top 20 than normal. I mean, when you look at what he's been scoring in both these races, and yet again, we're just looking at Las Vegas and Homestead. Obviously, not a short track, yada yada yada. But I mean, credits due where credits due in terms of what this car is showing. This is Las Vegas. We look at Homestead as well. Hey, maybe you want to use this to see how people have been running. Maybe you like being able to see this type of stuff, and so on and so forth. Go ahead and join us so you can quickly go through this. And then when we look at where Matt Mills is or at Homestead yet again, qualifying pretty decently, in comparison to last year. Typically starting in the 20s, even at intermediate tracks and stuff. And he's finishing 14th. You then look at the people that we're looking at here. We have Matt Mills, Andre, and Luke as pretty much your main guys in the 6K range that you're using. I think it's going to come down to a 1v1 on Perez, Matt Mills, and Baldwin. There's not really a build where you need 2 of those. Okay, so the real thing is going to come down to what 1v1 between these guys work. Obviously, whether it's my stuff or other stuff, ceiling and mean probably leans towards Luke. I think upside / leverage / probably not being played enough would be Andre in the Aspire truck. But then yet again, the reason I'm bringing up Matt Mills is he's very much in the conversation as well. Starting 23rd, he could very easily finish 16th, 17th, and outscore Perez and Luke. And with the builds, you're going to need a 6K range. That's why Lawless Allen is so important if you're choosing to go there, because he's also in that discussion. Now that's pretty much the main things. Obviously, if I haven't talked about somebody, defer to my projections stuff. I am going to look at the chat really fast. We are 29 minutes away from the lock of the contest here. We have 102 you guys here, so thank you very much for being here. Let me see what you guys are saying really fast. Maybe let opinions be known on what you think of everything going behind the paywall. Maybe you don't like it, maybe you do. If you want to save money, probably want to join before the prices go up. So the Byron and Corey Heim together, okay? I don't know how realistic it is that William Byron leads in this race a lot. Okay, to at least make it worth it. When we're looking at, and I mentioned this in the contest review video I recorded in between Truck Q and now, that went up like an hour ago or whatever, just because I've been so fucking busy lately. The fact that Byron is in this field is almost giving Corey Heim a discount, because Corey Heim almost deserves a way higher price tag than $11,000. And when we look at Byron, okay, regardless of who leads, Byron is not leading this race until, or at least having the option to lead the race by probably lap, like, I'd say 60 to 70, unless we get a shitload of yellows early and he gets a ton of restarts to get up through the field. Now he starts in the inside lane, so realistically, once everything gets shuffled out, he'll probably be running eighth by like lap 17 or whatever. But I don't know if Byron really gets a chance to take the lead until like lap 80 or whatever. And even still, then I think Corey has a much better car and stuff. So 12.5 for Byron, I think, is actually a really difficult payoff, or not payoff, really difficult price tag for him to actually pay off, unless he just runs away with the race, because not only is he competing at 12.5 against Corey, I mean, he's also competing yet again when we look at the, that distribution of where the points are for your top. I mean, fuck it, we'll just bring it up here. What am I talking about here? What am I even talking about? When we look at the scoring ranges and stuff, you know who's going to be in these scoring ranges of scoring potentially, 60 points and so on and so forth, and certainly high 40s? Enfinger, Ben Rhodes, Tyler Ankrum. I mean, Tyler Ankram's been very, very impressive at these racetracks and stuff here, and especially starting 24th. I mean, Byron is competing with so many different people at a much cheaper price tag than others, and he's also competing with people who are expected to finish in the top 10. Enfinger, Rhodes, Tyler Ankrum, people like that. Like, Byron has to lead a lot more or Byron has to have a much faster car than probably what is, at first glance, seems like a slam dunk play. Now, obviously, because I try and cover situations, I do have some Corey Heim and Byron lineups as, like, in that situation, what do I think works out the most? Yet again, hey, that's kind of why I'm talking. That's wrong. Sorry, kind of why I'm talking about Patrick down here. Okay, if you got to pay up for a fuck ton of players and stuff, Patrick makes a lot of sense with Byron and Corey Heim together. Okay, but I don't have much faith in those lineups actually having. I'd much rather focus on just Corey Heim and then the place differential down here. That's where I'm at there. Where the hell can you find the practice data? I just pull it from NASCAR. I mean, it's available at so many different places. People, I mean, you can go to Abnormally Distributed, his sheet. Nearly any, like, it seems like everybody pulls practice data in some form or fashion. I will say, NASCAR.com has, oh God. I wasn't a huge fan of the, no, I don't know if I can even get this stupid fucking thing to work. Okay, thank God they changed over. Now, I will say that NASCAR.com has made it drastically easier to look at it on your own. Very easy to look at, where these lap averages are and the lap times. Okay, now granted, the UI is horrific. Okay, and I don't know why they do it backwards like this. Like this, am I reading Mandarin right now? Why are we going from right to left? Okay, but draft NASCAR.com does have everything on here, so you can just pull it from the live leaderboard, or you can just look at it from there. Although, like I said, reading from freaking right to left is insane. Let's see, past that. Let's see. Good evening. What's going on, James? Sorry, your boss is making you work. What are we doing with the 19 car? Which, give me a moment. It's Hemrick, right? Okay, so Hemrick, as I stated again, which we'll kind of look yet again, 23 minutes until lock. Probably going to be live for another 5 minutes. Yet again, another. Now, I played way more Hemrick last week than the field did. Where are we at? Daniel Hemrick. Now, yet again, I mean, Hemrick's going to have speed, at most racetracks, and I think he needs to be considered. Now his price tag is slowly moving up and stuff too. Now this was that was Homestead. Now the reason I'm going through this is like I think Hemrick is what's his price tag at? Hemrick starting fifth at 91. I think that's unplayable. I mean, maybe not unplayable, but the guy's starting at what, like 37 points right off the bat or somewhere around that. Like you need to score at least like 47 to really make him work. I don't think this is the situation for it. Oh, we looked at Homestead already. But Hemrick needs to absolutely be in. He needs to be. You need to play him, moving forward and stuff. Now, a bit of a disappointing end at Las Vegas, so different tracks we go to, or like at least moving forward, I think Hemrick needs to probably have more consideration than he has been having. I just don't think he's useful tonight. Where else are we at here? About last couple minutes here. What's going on, Pope? Yeah, would I play 100% of Corey Heim in 4 laps? Yeah, this is a race I'd absolutely do that in. Baldwin not playing Baldwin. Am I crazy here? Oh, Luke, my bad. Making his first ever start for the Truck Series. Okay, so yet again, this is like redundant because very quickly, how much time we got? 22 minutes. Be here for another 2 minutes. This is where it becomes redundant to be like, I don't know who this guy is. What is he doing here? Blah 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 blah. Rich kid. Race has been racing his whole life so far. Like I don't know what else to tell you. Okay. Literally in the Tommy Baldwin family, races for Tommy Baldwin. Literally in that family. Cars Tour owner, past Cups car owner, literally given everything that money could ever have. No reason to really be concerned about him wrecking out or anything. Anytime someone new shows up, okay, and you're not, a waiter, trying to get clout, trying to get your dick wet, as that's what Mussolini's claim to fame was when he first came on the screen or scene. He just wanted to race so he can get laid at casinos. Outside of those situations, like anybody making their first start in a NASCAR race now is a kid who has been in go-karts, driving late models, whatever the case may be, his entire life. So there's no reason to really worry about Luke. Now he did just stand on the gas for whatever reason and just like blew his tires off in Q. Not concerned he's gonna do that in the race. It was just like, what are we doing, dude? But no concern there. Starting 27th. He should have been starting like 19th, 17th, so that's why he's in play. I wouldn't be concerned about him at all. Yeah, am I saying I'll never? Yeah, Kyle. Probably in whenever the site gets or whenever the site goes live in April, which we're probably expecting. We're trying to get it done before the Masters start. I think that's in April, right? I don't know, golf terms, right? But yeah, once that happens, all my stuff will officially go behind the paywall after all these years. Let's see. Thank you very much, Alexander. I do appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, dude. FS. Okay, yeah, sure. Let's see. What is this? Do you think the Timcast sponsor enough money to avoid? Maybe. I don't know what the Timcast. I don't know what you're referring to. AD. I really don't. That's that's over my head. I don't know what that reference is about. I'm going to stay live to see if I can get an answer there. But we do have 18 minutes and 42 seconds here. Matthew, we got a question about Matthew. Matthew. Am I crazy? Am I insane here? I don't know what the Matthew. Oh. I mean, let me see. I mean, him at 6K. Let me see what I got him projected at compared to the other drivers here. So I got Matthew at 29 DraftKings points. That's him finishing 16th, or right around that. I mean, that is 16th, right? But like right around that area. Whereas like you got Mills, you got Luke, And you got Andre at like potential mid-30s, if not higher. Like that's just why I'm not getting to Matthew. And yes, I have season tickets to Atlanta, so I go to both Atlanta races each year. Zach. What else? I will wait to make, like obviously I'll tweet out, be like, oh, this is the last stream in front of the paywall or whatever. Yet again, I was hoping it'd be at the start of April, but we're looking probably like mid-April as we transfer over to the new site. Can I play Muniz to fit in all the PD with? I would play, if you're trying to get all the PD in, I would strongly advise to take the risk on Patrick versus Frankie. I mean, you could play Muniz. What's the difference? Yeah, I mean, Frankie at 58, I would just take the salary savings and play Patrick. Poor AD did not answer me. No, I don't know what he was referring to. Okay, well, anyway, past that, 60 minutes until lock. I will see you guys tomorrow, and best of luck. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.